Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Spiritually Active podcast. It's your host, Caitlin, here, and I am back. What a absolute whirlwind it has been for the past couple of months. You haven't heard from me or any of my guests in almost a year, and I'm just feeling really called to hop back on and share my voice, what I've been up to, and all the beautiful perspectives of the amazing guests that I've interviewed for this season. I've been having a hard time feeling like I want to sit down and share my life just because so much has been changing. So many things have been moving in great ways. And honestly, it's just been kind of hard to sit down and put those thoughts into words. So today I'm going to do my absolute best to do that and kind of share with you what I've been up to, where I'm headed, what I'm up to now, and of course, what you can expect from this season. So it's good to be back. Welcome back. I'm excited that you are here. Last time you heard from me, I was still working my 9-to-5 corporate finance job and plotting a way to get out, figuring out, okay, what's my next move? I've been talking about it for years and years and years. I was just feeling kind of burnt out and, still loving some of the work that I was doing, but ultimately, I just knew that it wasn't for me. And so here I am. I quit my job, my corporate job in July of last year. Boy, have times have changed since then. Like so much has gone on. And that was a ride in and of itself. It was a beautiful exercise of intuition and knowing that my time had come and I was presented with the perfect way to ultimately find this new path that I'm on. So I'll break down the story really quickly, and I'm sure I'll share a lot more about it throughout this season. But during the middle of July or so, I had taken a day off. My boyfriend and I were looking for places to move in together. Spoiler alert. I'm not single anymore. I have a beautiful, amazing, loving partner. I'm so grateful for him. But we were looking for a place to live and both just feeling really burnt out. So we took the day off. We spent the morning driving around and just kind of figuring out hey, what areas do we love in the valley? And he and I were just really excited to take this step together. And I got, when we got home in the afternoon, I was like, hey, I'm going to double check my schedule, make sure that nothing for the day, tomorrow, the day that I go back to work, has changed. It's still the same as I left it. And it turns out that I had a meeting put on my books for first thing in the morning from my manager. And he and I had a great relationship. We had been talking about this work that I was being asked to do from some other people in our department. And he kind of put the ball in my court of hey, do your due diligence, figure out what this work might entail. And then let me know if you want to work on it. And my initial reaction was no, it's high visibility, but in a way that felt like we are desperate for someone who has this type of expertise. And it felt like some of the people that I was going to be working with wanted it done a really specific way, but didn't want to do it themselves. And so I was like, all right, answer is probably no. But I just had this feeling that he was going to chat with me about it again and see hey, what can we do to sweeten the pot, if you will. And I called my mom that evening and I said, I think I'm going to be asked to be put on this work, and I think I'm going to have to tell him I'm leaving my job. And, in perfect mom, advice fashion, she was like, all right, well, if tomorrow's the day, awesome. If it's not, that's okay too. Just don't plan yourself too hard and think from your heart. Speak from where your soul is at. And so I went in the next morning to, just see what he had to say. And my intuition was correct. I knew that, there was a lot of pressure on this work, this project. And I also was confident that I had the expertise. And, when he reached out and called me, I was like, I'm just going to have to stop you right there. You can take this as my formal resignation. And he was just gobsmacked, really, really shocked. And he had not been my manager for a very long time, although we'd known each other for a really long time. So it was one of those like, whoa, like I am very surprised. And I had shared here and there with some of my peers, my former leader, like, hey, I don't want to be here forever. And here's why. And I just know that I'm called for something different than what I'm currently in. And, I poured my guts out to him. I cried, of course, like who wouldn't cry in a conversation like that? And I just felt so grounded during that entire discussion of like, why are you doing this? Why now? And felt really like I knew it was the right time to do. I knew that like this opportunity had been presented to me so that I could close this chapter and enter into this new one. So it was really, really fun, really exciting. And I'm just really glad for my time and my experience there because it taught me so much. It taught me about what I wanted, what I don't want going forward, and like what skill sets I have and what skill sets I can really lean into as I move into this new path and chapter. So I quit my corporate job. It felt so crazy, like for the first couple of weeks, really waking up and feeling like I have nothing to do. I have nowhere to go, nothing else to be. And it was just like, imagine waking up in the morning and being like, what do I do with myself? It was that feeling for a couple of weeks. I was still teaching and kind of had an admin role at one of the studios that I teach at. And then, fast forward, my 2 or 3 weeks later, my very last day is August 1st. And my boyfriend and I had just traveled to Colorado for one of our good friends' weddings. And we got back and we're continuing to look for a place to live. Like all of these things were happening and changing. And I got a call from one of my best friends and my mentor and manager, and she had left her job. She had been let go for a variety of reasons, which just, hit me so hard. Like it was really difficult to witness and to watch the hurt that was going on. And to still somehow like kind of be involved in a way. And so she had called me and let me know that. And originally, like, I thought that was my path. Like, hey, we're going to work together at this specific place and do these specific things. And, we had some goals laid out. Like, we were, like, on the train to get going. So what I thought my next path would be just completely felt like the rug was pulled out from under me. And it once again, like divine redirection. I look back at it now and I'm so grateful because it's led to so much more opening for honestly both of us. But it was one of those moments where I was like, oh my God, like I just quit my job of 6 years. I thought I had exactly what I was going to do next laid out in front of me, and it was not the case. So now what? Now what? In all of this, I also had just, with the support of Rachel, I guess from season 2, shout out to Rachel, I had gone off of hormonal birth control and was just experiencing what it was like to be in my body without those synthetic hormones there. And I'm still actively detoxing. I'm still working on kind of supporting myself nutritionally, physically, emotionally to feel like I'm at a more stable place. Because let me tell you, like, it's been a fairly smooth process, but also very surprising in a lot of ways. My cycle is finally kind of regulating. My symptoms are getting much milder. But for a few months there, it was hard. It was a big change. And then, of course, my partner and I were moving in together. So just like in total Sagittarius fashion, I decided to make 10 changes to my life all at once. When it rains, it pours. And it felt like there were so many endings, some that I expected, some that I didn't, and so many beginnings that like just it was overwhelming. So it was hard to like sit down with myself and chase the dreams that I had left the job for. It felt like a real dark night of the soul, and it still does in some ways. I'm finding that my perspective on life has really shifted. My relationships are shifting and changing. And that's not all easy, like my breathwork teacher, who you'll hear from this season, always says, like, you came to feel this too. And so while it's an exciting time, and while I'm so, so grateful to be where I'm at now, like, I dreamed of these days, it also has been uncomfortable and challenging and a little bit chaotic, and has really been a true opportunity and test for me to sit down with my intuition, to feel into, what do I need? What do I want for myself? How can I go about that? And to release the judgment of others and just do what I feel is good for me, all while trusting that the right opportunities are going to come up in the right time. And a no is just the wrong door closing for you to open the right one. So it's been a big shift. So much is immensely different from the last time I hopped on this microphone, and it feels really good. I'm starting to feel really grounded in where I'm at and where I'm headed. And so that's just really, really exciting. So that's kind of a quick little a recap, a summary of what's been going on for the last 6-7 months or so. And I'm here now. I am learning just so much about who I am, and this deep trust in the process. I come from a background of structure. For the most part, when you work in a corporate setting, everything is laid out. It's visible enough where you can see, hey, here's where I want to go. How do I get there? You can build the path. It's even, laid out of like, hey, what are the proper ways to operate, quote unquote, or, how do I message this to someone? How do I communicate, share information, tell a story? And now, that's much less clear, from a path perspective. And I think that's kind of the fun part that I'm really starting to lean into is I wake up every day and I don't quite know what to expect. Yes, I have some routine, I have some structure to my schedule, but other than that, like, it's really up to me to be in my creative flow, to find the times and the places and the spaces where I feel expansive, and to just trust all of that, and to know that I'm exactly where I need to be. So just a friendly reminder, like, if you're in a really hard season or a season full of change, you are exactly where you need to be. You're learning exactly what you need to be learning. Like, there is direction going on. You are guided and supported, and sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but just remember and know that that's the feeling or the thought that I really fall back on my hard days is, I came here to feel this too. It's okay to be angry, sad, lonely, happy, joyful, full of life, fulfilled, all of the things, because that's part of the human experience. We get to feel them all. So what I've been up to lately, I'm teaching hella yoga all over the valley. Right now I teach at a couple different studios here and there, but what I've mostly been doing is mobile yoga. So I've been teaching a lot of bachelorette parties, which is so fun to get up and just be outside with new people and getting to see where people come from, why they come to Phoenix and Scottsdale. So it's been really fun and really just cool to be a part of people's special memories in that way. And then I'm also right now teaching yoga and sound meditations, a lot of sound in behavioral health and recovery facilities. And this is a population, I don't have training in. I never thought I would work with people who are in alcohol and addiction recovery. And I am just so grateful. Like, I come home sometimes and I just cry my eyes out because I am so, it's so cool to watch humans be humans. People want to get better. And, not everybody's into yoga. Not everybody's into the crystal bowls and the gong. And that's okay too. But there's this air of, wanting to heal and wanting to become the best version of who they so naturally and instinctively are. And that has just it's been so grounding to sit back and to sit down and to see the humanity in others. And so I'm really grateful to be working with those groups right now. And it's been so fun, I just get to show up and pick a playlist and teach some yoga or teach some sound and, interact with people. And that's been really, really fun. So I am teaching so much right now. Like I said, sound is my main modality. I'm teaching probably 5 or so sound baths a week. And I always thought I was a yoga teacher first. But lately I'm not anything first. I'm just me. But I've been teaching and practicing yoga the most for the longest. And now with sound, it's a whole new side of me, a whole new exploration into breath work and meditation that I didn't quite see the path for is just so quickly unfolding, and it's amazing. It also just goes to show that everything happens at the right time for the right reasons. I went through sound training a year ago thinking, this is just out of curiosity. I want to add one more thing to my tool belt. And I thought of it more so as a way of building myself up. And now I'm wow, that is serving not only me and helping people meditate, rest, relax, find their deepest, truest self, but it's so meditative for me as well when I get to play for people, even if it's just the bowls for 20 minutes. The shift in energy and the groundedness with which I leave those sessions is so rewarding. It's ultimately, I feel why I continue to do sound most of the time, because it's just fun and it really brings you back down to earth. And I think last time I shared my life as well, I was also just starting my breathwork apprenticeship, which I'm so excited to share that I'm almost done with that, and I'm moving into groups within literally the next few weeks here. So I'm so excited. That is also just the most rewarding experience to see someone lay down and unfold themselves and unravel the places that are tight and tense, and to experience the healing that is the intelligence of the breath. It's like when you have a client sit up and they just look different. And my teacher always says, not welcome back, welcome to now. Because you are changed. You have shifted in some way, shape, or form, whether you had a really big experience or it was subtle and sweet. And so I'm really excited to be able to start expanding that and sharing that with other people very, very soon. So I'm super pumped. Right now, I feel like I'm unlocking this whole new version of me. I don't know how else to say it. It's like I'm coming home to my truest self. And even in the midst of deep discomfort, of having challenging conversations, of still working through avoiding, procrastinating, all these things, all these experiences in my life, I'm also just trying to feel it all. Feel the shittiness of shitties and feel the highest of highs. I recently, as a part of my birth control detox, I started creating a relationship with Mama Cacao, and I just actually, that's another thing I didn't share, went through a cacao certification program. So I'll be hosting ceremony here very, very soon too, starting in March. But I I've been sitting with it, and it's a beautiful, expansive embodiment plant medicine, something that has really helped me be in my body and be connected more to my heart rather than my thinking mind. And not to say that I need to turn my mind off, but as we all know as humans, it's really easy to overthink and to analyze and to take exactly what we see in the media, on our phones, around us as literal fact. And so I've really been trying to just feel into my body and notice how it responds to things. I even talk to my body sometimes of, okay, I have some pain in my back, or my spleen feels a little inflamed. What do you need? What can I do for you? What needs to be felt? And letting that come up. And I find that often when I'm in my body, I'm able to feel everything, to feel like I said, the shitty stuff or the things I guess that we label shitty, anger, sadness. And I'm also able to feel like the deepest depths of just belonging and feeling like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And so, yes, it's not all love and light. This is probably the most spiritual experience that I've ever been through. And we already knew that. We already know that not everything's going to be butterflies and rainbows, but I think I had expectations about what my life would look like right now. Those are just shattered and have fallen away. And so I'm really opening up to the idea that, I'm only a certain amount of in control. The rest is kind of up to me, surrendering and letting go and just finding the flow. So I'm really trying to slow down right now. It's very challenging. I even saw, the other day that sometimes we have the tendency to try and do something about everything. If you feel a certain way, you need to put effort in to change that or shift that. And I think that there is a beautiful, there's like a beautiful essence to trying. We all want to heal, get better, be better. But at the same time, like sometimes you just got to sit with stuff and let things unfold just as they're supposed to, rather than putting in your effort to be the catalyst of change. Sometimes there's nothing to change, and it'll continue to happen around you. So I am learning to do that, and also to let my creativity guide me. There are days where I get up and I feel so motivated to create, to post online, to show up, to be seen. And there are other days where I'm like, oh my God, why am I doing any of this? I question my whole life in like 5 minutes. And so I'm really living by the mantra to create more than you consume. And lately, my feeds on social media are cats and dogs and silly things, because that's all I have the space for right now. So I'm building, and I'm also really shifting how I've always worked, how I've always thought. Talk about like money and finances. I'm really trying to reshape how I look at that, how I look at the exchange of money, the circulation of it. And what stability means to me, what I value when it comes to money, how much I held my value and my personal worth to how much I make or what's in my bank account in this very moment. And, there's a few people that I really, really resonate with their message online of like, hey, like it's all a relationship, it's all energy. And, there's still this like little just like devil on my shoulder that wants all the control. If I just work harder, if I just try things like differently, or if I just am a different person, even I go that far, then I'll feel XYZ way, or I'll make XYZ amount. And I'm finding that, it's how can I show up so authentically every single day that money, joy, the right people just find me? instead of trying to call in and like I said earlier, make that effort. It's how can I relax and ease into some of these things so that, when it finds me, it's like, of course, that was supposed to happen. Of course, this is how I was meant to feel. So there is a lot of unwinding, unraveling, and relaxing into, releasing out of going on right now. I'm also just trying to have fun. And I hate even saying trying to have fun because you shouldn't try when it comes to fun. Fun just happens. And I don't even like using the word shouldn't or should either because fun just happens. And like I said, there are some days that are harder than others. There are some days where I feel so lit up and excited and ready to go. And so I'm really trying to sit in those moments and be so fiercely present that there's no forward looking, there's no backward looking. There's just feeling that joy, that like, oh my gosh, this is working out feeling. And yeah, that's sometimes more challenging for me than I'd like to admit. I feel like I've been such a serious person my whole life. I've been an achiever. I've been somebody that reaches for things, that goes for stuff. And I'm not saying that that's not happening anymore because I'm still showing up as the best version of myself every single day. My 100% looks different every single day. But in the same vein, I'm really, really trying and attempting just to release that essence of like, I need to be a specific way. I need to function the way the rest of the world does. I need to communicate and operate under the same pretenses and behaviors that I did when I was a corporate girl. And I am by no means shoving those things that I've learned aside. I'm grateful. I know how to write a damn good email. I know how to have hard conversations from a work perspective. I know so much stuff. I'm a fast typer. Hello. I know how to create relationships and those skill sets were learned from like literally on the job work. And so I'm trying to sit in that, like, what is this version of me that's unfolding now? How do I actually want to work? Now that I have a little bit more freedom of time and freedom of location, am I feeling like I want to get up and go somewhere, leave the house today to work? Or am I going to sit here at my desk and like grind away? Do I want to grind, or am I feeling not creative? And so I'm going to go do something that inspires me to feel creative, to drive around, to take a walk, to get outside, to cook, like those simple tasks that I think have always been looked at as exactly that, tasks. I'm really starting to lean into as little rituals and ways for me to, nourish my body, nourish my mind, and be a means of unfolding into whatever this next version is. And I'm also recognizing that, with change comes this confusion. I've always felt like have known who I am. And I still do. I know that deep down in my bones, the quote unquote same person that I've always existed as is still there. But with time and with my focus and energy moving towards different things now, so are my interests, so are the way I think about things. I don't really drink that much anymore. I would much prefer like a small evening at home, whether it's with my partner or by myself. I am spending a lot more time turning inwards and just trying to let go of the expectation, to release any burden that I've felt of, hey, this is how you should be. and really find home in who I am. And we're not meant to be static people. Humans are the prime example of evolution, right? And it feels so exciting to be evolving and to be changing, and stepping into this like more confident version of that little girl in me that's just wanting to come out and be playful and be fun and be intuitive and just like happy to be alive, and excited about life. And I felt like for a while, that I just was operating in what I've always known versus really, really getting curious with myself. And so one, like I have so much gratitude and appreciation for all of the modalities that I've explored for myself. Breath work has been so incredibly opening. Sitting with sound, both as a participant and a practitioner, have been immense. Yoga is something that will never leave me. It's a practice that like I could get emotional talking about. Just it's carried me through so many seasons of life. And even things like tarot, I did a card pull for every month for the beginning of the year, and it's really cool to see just how each month is unfolding, and the general energy for me is really stepping into who I am and being confident in that, really feeling the confidence, not just projecting it. And so we're getting there. We're in the process. We're always in process. And yeah, I'm grateful to be here. I'm feeling excited about what's next. And I don't even know what's happening. I don't even know what's to come, but I know that part of that reason is because I can't even imagine how good it's about to get. And so reminder for you too, that yes, we can plan, we can think about things from our critical mind so much, we can think about them over and over and over again, but just a reminder to feel into your heart and to know that everything that you ever need is already within you. And sometimes you just have to create the room and give yourself the opportunity for those things to be expressed. And they'll come. If it's not one moment or one lesson, it'll be the next one. So on this season, we're going to be doing plenty of exploring. Season 3 is really exciting. I have a couple updates for you. One is that we have a producer. Whoop, whoop. So exciting. My boyfriend's stepdad, Bill, he has a recording studio in his home, and he created the music for these episodes that you'll hear, as well as helped me get a few recordings going. So we have a producer, and he's really just been a motivator for me to get this back off the ground and going. So big shout out to Bill. We love you. Thank you so much. He also inspired me to create new artwork for the podcast, so you'll see that so soon, and I'm really, really excited to share all of that with you. I'll share too, some of these episodes were recorded almost a year ago, so I've been sitting and gatekeeping this wisdom for quite a bit of time. I'm so sorry in advance, but it's coming to you now, so there's no time like the present. So if there are a few episodes that you hear at the beginning of the season where a guest mentions new music or new offers, I'll make sure in the show notes to list anything that they're up to right now so that you can go check them out, catch up on where they're at in this current moment, and have fun. Like, get to know them as the people they are now, with the episode that you heard from who they were then. I also am really, really excited to be stepping into my entrepreneurship era. So cool. I'm a business girly, but on my own, which is so fun. And you can expect this season we'll be doing some giveaways. I have a couple different things that I'll be launching throughout this year, but particularly as we kind of progress through each episode, I will definitely share. You'll be the first to know when those things are coming, and kind of what they are. They're still coming through. I'm still really sitting with my creativity and what I'm wanting to share with you all. And so stay tuned. You'll be the first to know. I really want this space to continue to just be a place for people to discover themselves. I know my story is just one of many. And candidly, I think the whole world feels a little bit like, now what? Like this season, like when is this going to end? Or when am I finally going to feel XYZ, comfortable, happy, guided and supported? And I really want this podcast to be a space where we transform the, oh my God, what's next, to, oh my God, what's next? To shift the tone in a time and a world where change is inevitable. It feels really heavy. And it feels like we wake up and there's something new to know every single day. And so it's more important than ever that we each show up in our most grounded selves and our most authentic ways and help each other, like give way to the shame, to the guilt, to the things that have held us back from being who we are. And so I really, really hope that each episode that you listen to just gives you one nugget of whether it's information or inspiration to take your power back and to be where you're at and to love that place. And to remember, like, everything is falling into place perfectly. Even when things feel chaotic, uncomfortable, challenging, and to remember also that, like, there's no destination. It's just a path. And so you get to build it. You get to co-create it with the energy of the universe. You are the universe. It's all within you. And so I hope each episode in this season and the ones to come continue to just serve as the reminder that you are here for a very special reason and a very special purpose. And you deserve to receive that and to know that and to feel that every single day. So I hope that that message resonates with you. I hope that you breathe it in for just a moment and to know that there are so many minutes, seconds, hours, days ahead where you will continue to just open up, to be who you are, and to love those parts of yourself that maybe you've hidden from before. And so that's it. That's all I got for you. I am so excited to be back with you. It's crazy. I've put this off. Honestly, I've really procrastinated hopping back on the mic. I felt a lot of shame of I don't have a voice anymore. I don't have anything to share. I'm just kind of going through it. But I think those are the best times and the best reminders that you do indeed have a voice and you do indeed have a message to share. So we're back. I'm really, really excited. And this season is going to be fun. I really have some bigger plans for this podcast going forward. And I'm so grateful that you're here listening after all of these months. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll see you very, very soon. Our next episode will be with my sound healing teacher, Hamid. And I think you'll just love him. He has a beautiful perspective on what sound really is. And, it's so many of his messages continue to resonate with me as I've become a practitioner. So I love you so much. I hope you know that you are right where you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and being exactly who you're supposed to be. It's all aligned. You are supported, you are guided, and most importantly, you are so deeply loved. I can't wait to live more of this human experience with you, and I love you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye!